And so what's that in your business? It's not just in the product, it's in the marketing, it's in the sales, it's in the administration, it's in the attitude and the culture. If you brought your business, your product, or your service down from heaven to earth, how would it be the same as today? You know, there's a perfectionism to being in heaven. Everything is there produced by God. Everything is immaculate. Everything is majestical. And often today our businesses are struggling because we're resisting producing products, services and businesses that are heavenly, that truly represent Him through everything that they do. We're busy trying to seek efficiencies. We're busy trying to cut corners. We're busy trying to avoid the final 10% that's remarkably hard in order to go and produce something that is world class. And yet businesses like Tesla and Apple, they choose to go that extra journey, and then they choose to go and outplay by doing it so many other brands. I want you to think for a second that Tesla is a relatively new automotive business that is the world's largest electric vehicle seller or car seller. It's outplayed General Motors, Ford, Nissan, Toyota, and the list just goes on in 10% of the time that those other businesses have been around for. Why? Because it's produced a heavenly product. And so if you were to have your business and you were to truly go and analyze it, I'd like you to go and imagine that it's a heavenly, miracle-based business. I'd like you to identify what would be the same and what would be different. You know, would you talk the same way, walk the same way? How would you be dressed? How would your facial hair be or your haircut be? How would your vehicles be? How would your offices be? How would your customer service be? How would it be when you responded to emails and answered the phone? We often talk about business planning, but most business plans, and I see thousands of them every year, are appalling at best and diabolical at worst. Why? Because most business plans design an average business and then try and convince me that they will get extraordinary results. If you want to get extraordinary results, you need to go and offer a product and a service that is extraordinary. So the first thing that I'd like you to do is consider in a business what would remain the same in your business if your business was to be heavenly. The second thing is I'd like you to consider what would be different. And I think this is where the rubber hits the road. You see, fundamentally your business would remain the same. A plumbing business would remain a plumbing business. But if it was heavenly, how would the customer's home be when you leave? How would the customer's referrals be when you leave? How would you dress? How would your vehicle be, inside and out? How would your admin be? How would your marketing be? How would your sales be? How would your customer acquisition be? And I think if we're all honest, there's a significant level of improvement that we can all do. We don't do it because we don't think that we'll see the results. But that's like saying, well, Jesus, I'm not going to believe in you because I don't believe in you because I probably won't get to go to heaven anyway, so I just won't believe in you. And none of us choose to do that. And so this is where faith starts to step into your business. Pride would even be a word. I've yet to find a business that doesn't have space to be 40% better or more. And so what's that in your business? It's not just in the product. It's in the marketing. It's in the sales. It's in the administration. It's in the attitude and the culture. Because within all of that is the difference that makes the difference that you're busy seeking. Average businesses and average services and average products don't get referrals. All they do is create price-sensitive customers who can't justify in their mind spending more on average. And you know that to be true because you can't either. But what if you had something that was astronomically wonderful, that made the likelihood of you getting the service that you wanted or the product you wanted even more certain, the outcome you're looking for even more certain? Would you be prepared to spend a bit more? I mean, if you got to spend time with the Pope, would that be of more value to you than spending time with an unknown pastor of a local church? Out of idle curiosity, that would work for me. And so I want you to go and take your business today and go and consider this. If God himself was to come and do an audit on your business, what would he say? If Solomon himself was to come and do an audit on your business, what would he say? And if you're honest, I'd like you to write that down, create a to-do list and start coming up with more. Because out of that list is going to be the business you A, always dreamt of, and B, the lifestyle that you've always dreamt of as well. Because these improvements in your business, 9 out of 10 of them are attitude based and don't require cash.